Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are doing a recap and review of Love Island USA Season 2 Episode 20. So we are of course back in beautiful Las Vegas at the villa with our couples and a couple new singles, and I'm going to do this couple by couple. And a lot of content wasn't given to this couple this time because I think they spent the last couple days going through their drama, and so everything has calmed down. So we didn't get much today on Johnny and Cely. But they did have a sit-down conversation with each other in regards to this whole thing with Mackenzie and Connor. And, if this is a pattern, and how, Johnny was saying that Connor seemed to be a totally different person when he was in Casa Amor. And Cely said the same thing about Mackenzie, that, it was a situation where she was definitely being herself and a different person. And now that she's with Jalen, it seems like she's reverting back to it. So it's some type of pattern that they're having. It wasn't really major. They're just having some, conversation about them. But overall, I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you think about her decision? Look like they're all good. So I guess, hey, if they hashed it out and worked it out and they're on good terms to move forward, so be it, right? All right, so the only other thing that we did have this couple in is that actual check us out challenge where they had this whole thing about putting food in each other's mouth, kind of like where you feed a bird. And I forgot the name of that term, but they were passing food to each other via their mouths, and they had to pass it until they get to the end and then spit it out. But one thing about this particular couple, they always seem to be cute no matter what they're doing. They're just two very attractive people, and even when they're messy, they still look good together. So, I mean, nothing major with these two. As long as they're all good, I guess I'm all good. I'm not going to judge, because I'm not in the situation, but I just hope all is well with these two. So let's move on to our next newest couple, and that's Cher and Calvin. And even with these two, they really didn't give us much. I mean, Caleb had a sit-down conversation with Calvin, and he wanted to discuss with him, would he be interested in getting to know Kirsten, since she was one of his first picks. And he was saying, she's available if she's interested. Maybe it might be a possibility. But I don't know. I don't see a connection there. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think that there could be a possible connection that could happen with Calvin and Kirsten? I'm not feeling that, But anywho, so he did have a sit-down conversation with Cher. And he was asking her, so what do you think about everything? How's it going? What are some of your plans for yourself? And she was saying that she had just graduated from college and that she's going back to real estate school because she eventually want to own her own business. I just found that it was pretty interesting. And she was having this conversation with Aaron, how he was interested in trying to get to know her because of how things were going on with him and Moira. So, I mean, I don't know. My thoughts on Cher, she seems to be a nice girl, but I don't think she fit with Calvin. And I really can't tell anything with Aaron. It's just too new with her. But, I mean, like she said, her and Calvin wasn't even on her radar. So he asking her, hey, where your head at? And she was like, oh, we can just take it day by day, take it slow, and, see how it goes. And, Calvin is like, I like the fact that you're confident. And, being that you're a confident girl, you make me nervous. And he went in for a kiss and he got the cheek, and he was definitely not happy about that. Um, they also had this conversation about, and I'm assuming people like Cely and Johnny and Justine and Caleb, is that there's some folks up in here that's just way too serious and they're going to get boring. And I'm like, it's called Love Island, you guys. I mean, really, Calvin, really, Cher, what do you come here for? Just to kick it and have fun? And granted, kicking and having fun is part of it, but Love Island is to find love. So I don't know where you guys think you're at, but okay. So let's talk about the messiness that they got involved in the Check Us Out challenge. They also participated, and even you can tell who has chemistry, like I said, with Johnny and Cely. I just don't see, even with them passing off this food to each other, I didn't see any type of anything there with that, you know. So, again, I'm not feeling this couple, and just the fact that I really don't think that they see them as boring, the other two couples that they're talking about. I think they're just jealous because of the fact that they don't have any deep connections yet. Because that's what you came here for, to find love. So stop talking about somebody else if they found it. Just being a hater. So, anywho, that's enough about Calvin and Cher. It wasn't that much. So another couple that's really new is Carrington and Laurel. And Laurel and Carrington wasn't a lot on the screen either today. She was talking about how she's a person that loves to travel. And I mean, she's been to Paris, she's been to Greece, and she was like, "Hey, would you be interested in traveling with me?" And Carrington gave this laxed, hesitate response. I don't know if he's not sold into Laurel, but he's just so, I don't see the connection there yet. And maybe he's just trying to figure this thing out, but he was like that with Kirsten too. It's like, dude, you have a wall up? Is there a barrier? You're afraid of getting close to anybody, or maybe being vulnerable is just not good for you? But it's always some type of hesitation, or this cool, laid back, kind of lax. And it's okay to be cool and laid back, but if you're trying to build a connection with someone, you need to have some type of energy to go along with that. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. What you think about Carrington and Laurel, So, anywho, they participated also in the Check Us Out challenge. And, I mean, they had a couple sexy little scenes with them passing the food. I don't know about that one right there with Laurel spitting it out, but just right there, I mean, I do think that if he let his guard down a little bit, or this cool, suave type of, I don't know, persona, I just think it'll be so much different. So let's move on to Aaron, and we're going to talk about Aaron and Moira. And, there again was that conversation that Cher had with Aaron about how, Moira seems to try to push this whole thing with trying to be in, I don't want to say in love, but in a loving relationship. And he don't know whether, that's something that he want to pursue with her. I mean, he asked her, "Where's your head at?" And her response was, "Oh yeah," and nothing else. And he was like, "Okay, well, what do you think? Do you think we're better off as friends, or, because I just, I've been thinking about this, and I think that we should just maybe be friends." And then she answers, "I think it's refreshing that, it was all good on paper, and I'm glad we're on the same page." And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so that's where we at with you two. All right, that was a quick and easy breakup. So they participated in the Check Us Out challenge. Nothing there, just two friends having a good time, playing the game. They don't have a connection. They pretty much call it quits. So we'll see what eventually happened to them in the recoupling that's coming up soon. So there wasn't too much on Kirsten. Of course, we all know that she is single. and she and Jalen have been connecting. And I don't know, I would like to see what happens with that. The conversation that she has with Jalen is that, she's interested, he's interested. They got a lot in common, a lot more than what's going on with Mackenzie, and that, she's open to it, and I'm kind of interested to see if Kirsten and Jalen has a connection, because obviously he's not looking to waste his time. He want to try to build connections with someone, so therefore he can maybe find love and be able to move forward, and so is she. So I don't know if I see that initial spark. I see interest, but you guys tell me what you all think. And then, of course, she didn't play in the Check Us Out challenge because she was single. And then there was Connor. They both, and there was not too much on him. I know that he, of course, slept alone because he's single, of course. And the biggest thing on this episode with him, besides he was her spokesperson for the game, is that the guys were definitely trying to see where his head was in regards to whether he was pretty much done with Mackenzie. And when he said he was 98%, Johnny was like, "Oh no, you need to be 100%. You need to be so over and so done with that girl. I mean, enough is enough." And I mean, Carrington was like, "You know what? If it's up to me, he ain't gonna get back with Mackenzie." And I mean, they are really, really not, happy with Mackenzie. And I mean, a lot of this is, they both have some accountability. I mean, I don't want to put it all on Mackenzie, because there are some things in the beginning that Connor contributed to this. Now, I don't agree with Mackenzie's reactions to it, which we'll talk about when we get to them, but Connor will be just fine. So let's talk about the next couple, which is our best couple, and that is Jaleb, aka Justine, and Caleb. And so, while she was chilling out with the girls, she got a text, and the text informed her that her and Caleb is about to embark on their first romantic date. And he was excited. She was excited. They're giving each other hugs. And I just so love this couple. Oh my God, I just need them to stay the course, please. And Justine has just the biggest smile on her face. She is just so, so happy. And, she's looking forward to, preparing herself for the date. And she got the little swimsuit action on. And of course, he is handsome in pink with his pink paisley. And she's just smiling. And he's just, oh my God, he's all in. So they go to this other rooftop, and the view up there is absolutely beautiful with the mountains in the scene. And they have this whole setup besides the scenery, which is gorgeous. But they give them mimosas and fruit, and they make a toast to the first date of many to come. And he was telling her how beautiful she is, and how he got her, I got you, that here with me. And I just think that is so awesome. And he seems genuine. That's the thing, because a lot of times you worry when guys are talking like that. You wondering if it's like, okay, you're telling this girl what you want to hear. You're trying to give her a mindgasm to kind of blow her mind and get her off her square. But he just sounds so genuine. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. Now, they got some conversation going, and, he asked her, what do you think about us and our future? And she said at first it was hard being there because she was worried about her parents, and that they had reservations about, her, doing this particular experiment. But because of where she is now with Caleb, they should feel a lot better. And you know how parents are. Sometimes they're going to be worried. You don't know this guy. You've only been talking to him for a few weeks. But she knows her parents, and, they gave each other a kiss. And, the fact that they even talked about life outside the villa and living across the country from each other. And Justine was like, distance doesn't bother me. I'll do anything for you if it's a solid relationship. And this particular scene is just so beautiful. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So they all came back to the villa. And of course, Cely is like, she haven't seen Justine in like 10 years. But that's her personality. She is so adorable. So, of course, there's guy talk and there's girl talk. And, Justine is just over the moon, as she should be. And, they like, okay, give me the deets. I want to know what happened. And she was like, that's our man. I mean, she's so happy. The conversation and the connection with us is so strong and so deep. And she was like, I'm falling too fast, I mean, I always fall too quick. And then, of course, the guys, they were asking him the same thing, like, hey, how's it going? And he was like, oh, yeah, it was one of the best romantic dates I ever had. And I'm glad he felt that way, because sometimes when the guys get with their guys, they're like, oh, it was all right. They'll try to play it down. And he didn't try to do that, which I really liked. So, again, I love, love, love this couple. I watched several romantic reality shows, and this couple and one other couple from Married at First Sight are my favorites. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, Justine and Caleb, please, 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 you got a whole team of us over here at Romance Review TV rooting for you. I see you guys' comments. And even Johnny says, hey, man, welcome to the club of love. So I thought that was cute. And, Johnny, I know you had a couple hiccups, but just stay the course. If Cely has forgiven you, stay the course. So they also did the Check Us Out challenge. And even with them, kind of like what I said with Johnny and Cely, the chemistry that they have, and because they work so cohesively together, I mean, you can tell they're comfortable with each other. And even in specific scenes, she was comfortable receiving whatever from him. And they work together. It was teamwork. I mean, they such a cute couple. I'm sorry. I mean, I know there's a couple people I saw in the comments who's not feeling Justine, but that's okay. She's getting there. Her confidence is getting stronger because of her relationship that she has with Caleb. So we'll see how that goes. And, I mean, they continued on. They had the thing where he's passing the spaghetti. But the funny thing, she was talking about how big that meatball was in her mouth and how big it was, and she don't have mind having big meatballs in her mouth. And Caleb looking at her like, what? Oh, okay. And I picked up on those undertones over there, Justine. You giving him take notes. Take notes, Caleb. So I love this couple. Just stay the course, you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now let's get into this last couple, which is the opposite, or the polar opposite of what we was talking about, and that's Jalen and Mackenzie. So Mackenzie is still reeling off of the fact of Jalen helping other people in the villa, which she said by him doing that, he was spending too much time away from her, and that he would rather be pretty much doing that and then come back to her later. And he was like, oh, we're not having any fun. And, and he's pretty much like, yeah, we were having fun. What are you talking about? And she was just pretty much telling the girls, him being there is just too much. It's just too much. And you guys, tell me what you think. Was he doing too much for the girls instead of getting to know to spend the time with her? And is her thoughts valid? Or was she just really being overly controlling? So, I don't know. So they have finally got a chance to have a sit-down conversation. And, Mackenzie was like, hey, I sensed your energy and it was off. And, we didn't get a chance to chat. And Jalen was like, okay, fine. I mean, what's the issue? We didn't get a chance to chat. Okay. And you know, Mackenzie was like, oh, you being defensive and criticism. And he was like, look, okay, you know what? I wasn't trying to be that way. I'm just telling you, I'm trying to get to know people here. I'm the odd man out. I don't want to feel like a outcast, and which is what he told her in yesterday's episode. And Jalen looks at this as being a red flag, because it looks like she's reverting back to the person that he saw when she was with Connor. So is it Connor is the problem, or Mackenzie is controlling and manipulative? And we'll get to see a little bit more of those traits as we get further along into this commentary. But he's terrified of the fact that that version of Mackenzie might come back. And if that's the case, he's sprinting. He said, I'm out of here. I don't have time to deal with that. And that's somebody that know what they will accept and what they won't accept when it comes to that. He's not going to accept that from you, Mackenzie. And I mean, she's so pissed off. She got up out the bed because she's just not happy and decided to go outside and sleep. Okay, I guess so if you feel comfortable. But yeah, she's out there. She got up, walked out the villa and decided to go sleep outside. And of course, Jalen waking up like, okay, I woke up by myself. But it was interesting that he said he slept well with her not being there. I mean, what's the problem? Was she hot? So he actually goes out there, take a look to locate her, find out that she's sleeping out there on one of the little couches or whatever they call it. And she was knocked out. He didn't even say nothing. He just looked at her. He's looking like, okay, this is what I'm in for. I don't have time for this. And Jalen, I don't blame you. And she wakes up looking all crazy, and she actually saw him walk away. He's not going to beg you. That's manipulation part 1 right there. You was hoping that was going to draw him into you to make him like, oh, why did you come outside, please. And so he goes in and he's having conversations with Aaron like, look, dude, I can't do this with her. I just can't. So he actually catches up with her because she went to get something to drink. And he was like, you slept outside. Was you hot? She didn't even look at him. Yeah, I was hot. And then she turned around and walked away. Dude, I mean, seriously, girl, it's like, really? So then she's in there complaining about Jalen, and Justine is looking at her like, why don't you just listen to what he has to say and take it as, constructive criticism? He's letting you know what he needs. And then she goes into this whole tizzy about how the girls in the beauty room are taking up for him. And they're looking like, what? How did you arrive at that? We're just trying to give you advice. We're not trying to take sides with him. And I'm like, okay, these girls have only known him for what, a day? Well, no, a couple days since he's been there. And they just jump ship. Maybe they should. I mean, even Kirsten is looking at her like, what? We're not trying, we're just trying to let you know to think about what's going on. And then she goes into this crying phase, another form of manipulation, because now she wants to play the victim. Nobody's listening to me. You guys not listening to me. He's not listening to me. I mean, he was being so mean and so the nasty things he said to me. He didn't say anything nasty to you. He stood up for himself. He's telling you, Mackenzie, look, I don't have to deal with what you're dishing out. You're not going to control me. And the moment that he put his foot down, then you want to play the victim and act like he did something to you. But, the girls consoled her. And, of course, that's what she wanted. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. You guys, you can comment down below what you think. But that's what she does. When she realizes she's losing ground, she'll find a way to manipulate the situation and draw people back into her. I don't know what that's called in psychology, but it's something, and it's extremely manipulative. I mean, because I can guarantee you if they didn't give her the time of day, she would cut off the waterworks quicker than the faucet. So as long as they were into her, the waterworks, the whining, the crying, the playing the victim, she was going to milk that attention as much as she can get it. That's who she is. So they also participated in the Check Us Out challenge. And for a minute, it seems like Jalen was trying to act like there was some connection there, but he's not there with her. I mean, honestly, of course, they got through the game, and then when they were in the confessional, you know, they acted like it. But, I mean, she was trying to be funny, and he was like, yeah, okay. He wasn't feeling that girl. He is so done with her connection-wise, it's out the window. As long as Connor and the rest of the guys wasn't there, she was a totally different person. And now that the guys are back and everything happened with Connor coming by himself, she changed into this whole personality, and now she wants to be controlling, and Jalen is just not letting that happen. So, I mean, he kept it lighthearted during the challenge, which that's cool, have a good time and have some fun, but yeah, he's done. And I'm hoping he's done. And honestly, I think he would probably be better off with Kirsten, because I think that there's more of a connection and a spark there, and I mean, granted, she's smiling. I mean, everybody is having conversation about them. She's the focal point of this whole thing, even when he was sitting in the chair. And man, Johnny, you definitely give some good cuts. You must be a barber in real life. I think that's the case. Guys, let me know if that's true or not. But he does a really good job of cutting the guy's hair. And especially with them being in quarantine during everything, I think that's pretty cool that he's able to do that for them. But yeah, she is still, just going back and forth. I mean, her and Kirsten is having this conversation that she's thinking about not coupling back up with Jalen, and that she may consider, Connor if he's interested. And of course, the guys are like putting a fort around him to keep that girl away from him. So, yeah, you're manipulative and you need to chill out. So we'll see what's going to happen in the next episode. Stay tuned. So we are doing post notifications shout out, and in today's video, our first one is Ali Kobar. Thank you so much for engaging in the channel. We really appreciate it. The next one is Kiana Dean. Thank you so much also for engaging with your comment in the channel. And then last but not least, Wisdom and Truth. And yeah, we'll keep you posted because I know you're overseas and you're behind a little bit. So just comment and I'll keep you up to date. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.